everyone, and welcome to Musing, music for the adventurous listener here on CJSW 90.9 FM in Calgary. I'm your host, Janna Sailor, and on today's show, we have a deep dive into an extraordinary new solo piano album entitled Vertical Landscapes, featuring Czech-Canadian pianist Zuzana Šimurdová and an all-star cast of female Canadian composers. So let's listen in. Zuzana Šimurdová is an award-winning pianist who has given solo and chamber concerts across Europe, the US, Canada, China, Russia, and South Korea. She made her first radio appearance at the age of 9, and her international career was launched as a laureate of the UNESCO Awards in Paris, followed by first prize finishes at the International Music Competition in London, the Janacek Competition, and the Prague, Vienna, Budapest International Piano Competition. Šimurdová is fascinated by classical and contemporary music and has premiered numerous Canadian and European works. Her new CD, Vertical Landscapes, is an example of Zuzana's sophisticated yet inclusive approach to the music that she plays and offers a fascinating review of Canadian piano music composed over the last 4 decades, spanning from the 1980s to the present day. Zuzana, welcome to Musing. Such a pleasure to have you in conversation today.
Thank you, Janna. Thank you for your interview. And I would like to talk about my newest CD called Vertical Landscape, because I was born in Czech Republic. And before Vertical Landscape, I made another CD, which was dedicated to the Czech composer Luboš Fischer. And when you are in Europe, you're walking on the streets and you see lots of churches and the architecture and sculptures and all the paintings. That's really overwhelming. And I just wanted to stop and to reflect what's going on. I felt like I should find compositions which are closer to Canada. I felt like how do composers, how do they feel, in Canada, if they grew up here, if they came from different province or just if they came from a different country. I was looking for the pieces which are expressing heritage, different emotions, up and downs, and sometimes not very comfortable emotions. So just everything like that.
Beautiful. I love that. And remind me, when did you come to Canada?
It was in 2007. I was studying in Montreal, so I came as Quebecoise. I'm fascinated by culture, so I love languages. I love to learn different languages, observe what's going on in music, and collect all the emotions which I can and put them into the compositions which I'm learning. After 7 years in Montreal, with my husband, we spent 2 years teaching at the university in South Korea. So that was like another culture shock, but in a positive way. So I learned a lot there, and after we were just thinking, what's the next step? And we came back to Edmonton, where Mikołaj Warszyński, my husband, he grew up here. So I think that's the 10th year already in Edmonton, yeah.
Well, your latest solo album for piano, Vertical Landscapes, is truly extraordinary and is receiving some really well-deserved recognition, which I'm really thrilled to see.
I didn't expect it. I was looking for a CD where I can use a piano as a tool, as a pianist. I was looking for different textures, and I was thinking, where should I go? Should I go to the library? But the library was online.
Right.
So that was amazing. The CMC, I was just going through the database.
Yeah, we've got tens of thousands of albums. Thanks for the shout out. We appreciate it. Lots of good stuff in there.
But that was helping a lot, and I was opening the scores. It's good to have those samples, like a sample of the first page, because I was checking the title. I was looking how it's written, and because through my experience as a musician, you will have a look and
yes, whether that is a fit or not.
Yeah, and I was imagining, because in my mind I wanted to express Canadian heritage, and I felt like, what is it? What's going on? And I was looking for pieces about nature. When you stand in front of the mountain, how it's just reflecting, it's almost pulling out your emotions. So I found the Johan Hansen Vertical Landscapes. And when I played the first page, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was blown away by the colors from that piece and from the depth of the bass notes, So I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I was diving in more and more. And because I'm also a piano teacher, so I teach lots of RCM songs.
Right.
And there's lots of Canadian music inside. I found a Christine Duncan.
Yes.
And I was looking if Christine has something, what her compositional style, which is more for, not for intermediate, but for advanced piano. And I found amazing pieces. And I was like, wow, Snowstorm. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. And nothing more Canadian.
started from Johan Hansen. So I was like, oh, vertical landscapes. And after there was the Snowstorm. The friend of mine, Terry Hron, who has a Czech heritage, she told me, oh, Susie, I will write a song for you. So she wrote a Memories of Trees.
Oh, beautiful.
And I was going through and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a difficult song. Sometimes it took me 6 months to find like the DNA of the composition.
Yes.
Because I just wanted to feel the song, find the colors for the particular song and to be able to express it.
Yes, absolutely. I love how you say the DNA of the composition. And, maybe perhaps some of the DNA is more akin to our own, so it might be easier to understand maybe in the form or the musical language. And then others, it stretches us. It makes us really think and explore new things and think in different ways. And that's amazing, but also challenging.
Yeah, exactly, because some of the songs are very challenging. For example, Anna Sokolovich, the Prelude and Fugue for Gigi, but I was fascinated how she's using the piano keyboard, and usually not lots of composers are going towards the upper keyboard, towards almost the end of the keyboard. When I was accompanying saxophones, there was lots of French music, and I was fascinated by that. I was like, wow, finally, I can play the last note on the keyboard, or I can play the first note, that I felt like, this is amazing. So I was happy for the prelude, which really goes through the whole keyboard, It's like you're almost falling down at the end.
about this album is I feel like it really shows off the best things that the piano can do, like the very warmest sounds and the most intimate sounds, and then also like the very percussive and abrasive as when needed. And it's just a really wonderful exploration of the piano and what it's capable of.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Before I had the experience, I had an album based on one composer. And once you discover the style, it's almost repetitive. So I wanted to go and grasp different compositions and different moods. I was thinking after such a happy, very emotional song, I just wanted to cool down and just play with the vibes and colors, because you will not stay in one emotional zone. You can just cross different layers of sound. So
I love that. I love that.
And it's also quite shocking. I remember when I had a CD release concert on February 16th. In Edmonton, we had minus 35.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, and I was thinking probably I will have 8 people attending the concert because it's so cold. Maybe the cars will not even start, the engine and everything. But so many people came. I was really surprised because of the weather condition. And after, there were some lovers of classical music, and they came to me and they told me, oh my gosh, I didn't expect that. And I was thinking, yeah, but it's still like classical music. It's just like our century.
Yes, because all classical music was new at some point.
Yeah, exactly, because I thought when Beethoven had his premiere of his symphony, people were just running to the concert hall and they were excited. Oh my goodness, what is Beethoven up to?
Yes, and it was mind-blowing and abrasive and upsetting to audiences at that time.
So there's always, from the pianistic perspective, there's so much to discover and so much to stretch, like all the technical elements, but also like psychological elements. And playing with time, playing with almost the atmosphere and the air, just to create something scary as well.
Yes. There's so many things right at our fingertips as musicians, literally.
Oh, yeah. And if the piano can deliver, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So something else that's really extraordinary about this project is that it's all female composers. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, because when I'm teaching and when I was learning different composers, I thought that's the masculine element, and there's a certain structure which professors and teachers are always showing us, that there's the climax and after it's just there's a relief, all the harmonic aspects. So I was thinking, what are women up to? Yeah. It's just how do they see the structure? How do they feel? Do they need more time for expressing one thought, the phrase? So I was going for to observe the construction of the frame, how it's expressed, what's the division between the hands, how much the pedal is helping to express the frames, different timings. And I cannot say if that's particular for women, but I found lots of fugues.
Oh, interesting.
When I went through the database, there were plenty of fugues.
Huh. Which is a very technical form that, we usually associate with Bach and very, like masculine composers.
Yeah, so I felt like when we have to manage so many tasks in once, so maybe that's also expressed in music because we like the polyphony, different voices. That was interesting to see. So I've seen more fugues. No preludes, nothing really dreamy.
No preludes. They just get right down to business.
Yeah, exactly. So that was something because the Capilano Canyon from Johan Hansen, that's a fugue. Anna Sokolovich has a fugue. So it was interesting to go through different types of fugues.
tell us about this journey that you had to go on, like maybe personally as an artist, as you went through the process of preparing and living with these works over a profound period of time.
When I went through like Johan Hansen, I understood that piece right away. And for example, with Christine Flores' Remembrance, I was looking for the flair. And after I was thinking, no, that's too much flair. It's just for the particular sounds. I let it sit for like 2 months. I came back and I felt that, oh, now I keep the structure better. When I recorded the song, I heard it back and I was like, oh, I think the sound was growing in my mind. And according just like really pragmatic things, like I've seen the score, how it's written, all the legatos, staccatos, all the articulation. But I was going for the sound and I'm satisfied with the sound. It's the tone quality and if there's enough emotions which are reflecting the tone. So it really depends from piece to piece because, for example, with Terry Hron, The Memories of Trees, it doesn't sound so difficult, but for me, I think that was the most difficult piece to learn.
Okay.
Because of the rhythms, she's singing like a gamelan, and I wanted to feel the rhythms, not just that it sounds like that I learned them, you know?
Yes.
That it's really like the tree is moving.
And that you embody those rhythms and you take them
exactly.
on.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I wanted to have fun, but sometimes to have fun and to be able to, I've got some depression from that. Yeah. It was really up and down, and I was like, oh, my goodness. I was thinking, maybe I don't have to play that song. And now it's one of my favorites, you know. It's a process. Sometimes it's really painful.
Yes.
With Alexina Louis, her music for piano, it reminded me, because I didn't ask the composers about the pieces before.
Okay.
I didn't ask them. I was just going through the title and through the harmonies and through the score, how it's written. And I was imagining the sound. And afterwards, when the songs were written, what do you think about the song? Like, what was your influence? But I didn't want to be influenced by that too much.
Okay. Very interesting.
That was the thing. Because, for example, Willful Ignorance, it's a very rhythmical piece. But 2 measures with a rallentando, which is slowing down, and diminuendo, you have 2 measures. And they will completely change the story. So I'm looking for like those moments, which if we are not really patient enough, we might forget them. So it's just like, you know, like, or sometimes even half of the measure, like little breath, little rallentando. It's changing the picture completely, and it's pushing the song to a different dimension, and suddenly the song is speaking differently.
Yes. Yes.
So that was fun to discover those tiny things, which they really matter a lot.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You worked with 11 different, very distinct composers in creating this album. What makes for a successful artist-composer collaboration?
I was going through the score and I felt like, wow, that's so well written. It's just really, it goes down to the art of composition, how well it's written, that it's really like possible to almost decode it.
So how well they're able to capture their ideas and convey them through the page.
Exactly. And it's also the articulation, details, different characters, different compositional style. It's how can I use the piano? Can I use it more with the different style of technique? It's like, can I breathe with the song? And for how long I can breathe with the sound? How long does the sound travel? So, yeah, different structures. There was so much. There were so many compositions, and it was so difficult to choose few of them. I felt like that would be good to make like 5 CDs.
Is there another one in the mix of Vertical Landscapes too, or?
That'll be great. That'll be great because, for example, Kristen Duncan, I wanted to record the whole suite.
Okay.
But I needed to choose one Snowstorm.
Oh, only one Snowstorm.
Only one, because I felt like there's a contrast. Sometimes it's really painful just to choose few songs. It's like a movie. Yeah. Once I was going for the Amadeus movie by Milos Forman. I'm sure everybody knows the Amadeus movie about Mozart, and it won 8 Oscars. So once in Czech Republic, they brought the movie, the previous version, which was 5 hours long.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and it was amazing, actually. It was amazing, and I felt like that should be 5 hours long, exactly, because he had more time to explain things.
Yes, and Mozart's character was so complex.
Yeah, so sometimes it feels like that. Yeah.
Well, you definitely have more to say, and so we'll keep an eye on this space to see Vertical Landscapes too, where you deem to call it.
That would be fantastic because it's I had this project like for long in my mind, and I was like, maybe it will never happen. And it's just, one sentence from a colleague who told me, oh, Susie, there's the deadline application for the Alberta Foundation for the Arts. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to do it. If I will not do it now, I will never do it.
And evidently you were successful in that grant.
Oh yeah. It was just exactly everything what I needed to make it happen. So I'm really thankful, So sometimes you can have an idea, but it's difficult to find partners who will share it. So I'm really thankful for that.
And the best things always happen at the last minute. So we need that extra push to get it over the line.
Yeah, exactly. But because it was crystallizing already for so long, so I was like, okay, I have to sit down and write everything and make the samples. And it felt that it was a very smooth process.
Meant to be.
Yeah, it felt easy just to write it down and to make the audio samples.
now that you've released the CD out into the wild and, performed the pieces, what has the personal response been that you've received as a performer to this work as a whole and these pieces that you're performing?
From the audience, they are mentioning like, oh, I didn't expect this. Like, it's beautiful music. It's piano. It's a contemporary, but I didn't, because I'm thinking that the word contemporary, sometimes that scares people.
It does, yes.
So it's just, I would call it like music of nowadays.
Music of our time.
Yeah, music of our time. That would be somehow a bit more approachable. But I didn't want to be approachable. That's the thing. I wanted to just express everything what I could. And those songs, some of them are not easy, but the audience were they were purchasing my CD and they told me, oh, that's beautiful music. And some of them, people who really, they are going only they're like a classical music goers, classical of the classic era, romantic. And they just came for the concert to support me.
Yes.
But they were surprised. They told me, oh my gosh, there are beautiful colors. So I'm thinking music is not aging. It's just, if you will find the right expressions, it can be 300 years old. It can be 1 month old,
Yes.
So it really varies, but it takes time and research. Yeah, lots of research. And being critical, not let it go so easily or to think that's an easy song. No. Just to have respect, to have lots of respect for the piece, for the composer.
Yes, it's an investment of your whole being.
Yeah, exactly. Enough to just let it go because you cannot influence it further.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And for folks that haven't had the opportunity to listen to it and will be purchasing it in the weeks and months to come, what do you hope that the listener turning it on their stereo or in their car, what do you hope they take away from the experience with this CD?
Oh, that there's future, it's just there's future there. There are amazing composers who are among us and their work should be recognized.
Absolutely.
That's it. And when people are searching for new repertoire and also pianists, there's so much to discover.
Absolutely.
And everything what we are learning as classically trained pianists, we can just push it towards the next level and have fun with that, put all our emotions, perception of colors there. But yeah, there's so much more.
I think that's a wonderful place to leave it. Zuzana Šimurdová, thank you so much for being my guest today on Musing. It's been such a pleasure to have you in conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
This has been Musing on CJSW 90.9 FM in Calgary. I'm your host, Janna Sailor. Thanks so much for joining me for this celebration of music, creators, and ideas. Musing is a production of the Canadian Music Centre Prairie Region and is heard right here in Calgary and around the world. As we end our time together, we recognize that there are more than 630 First Nations communities across the lands that we now know of as Canada, representing 50 distinct nations and Indigenous languages. In addition, there are Métis in every province of the country and 53 Inuit communities speaking different dialects of Inuktitut across the north. We acknowledge them as the original music makers, dancers, creators, and caretakers of our lands, and they continue to inspire and teach us as we commit to learning and moving forward together. I will leave you now with more music from Vertical Landscapes. Until next time, thanks for listening and for supporting Canadian music, composers, and artists in your community.